Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. This is Doom Jester, and today we'll be playing a little bit. Many of my videos may or may not have commentary. This is more of me just doing something on the side. I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls recently, so I figure I'd play some. Yes, we're going to be going with this fellow at the top. We're not using a new character, we're not doing anything like that. As I said, I've just been playing a lot recently and felt like recording a little bit. Now, I will bring up one issue. You'll notice that this isn't the beginning of anything. You'll notice I am very plainly clothed. I had started new game +2, +2 plus. Started new game 2 plus. I did not know that I was going to record. I just had a sudden inspiration, I guess, today. So, and I don't have my I don't have my Wanderer set anymore, so I am wearing the Thief set. If you're familiar, I mean, I look at it this way, there's no reason to do a full playthrough that's nice and all fleshed out. The game's been out for quite a long while, they're almost on the third one, so it's whatever, it doesn't matter, it's okay. And do I have a weapon? No, I don't have a weapon. I'll go and show my stats and information, all that fun stuff, in a little bit. I am starting out from the beginning, though, so those who are looking for, I don't know, pathing guide? I could hardly claim to know what people want. But if you're looking to find out where you're supposed to go, and for whatever reason you cannot make it from over there to over here, then here's the playthrough for you. And I left the door open. How terrible, I should have closed it. Man, I'm getting sloppy. So, a lot of these I'm going to be doing these videos. I don't know if a lot of them will have commentary or not. That is for me to decide as things happen. As I said, I'm just sort of playing around, doing whatever. So let's go to Majula. So if you've made it that far, well, we may as well go back and go through all that other stuff. Why not? And just in case, give myself a shield. My playstyle is very simple. I just use a shield and sword, sword and shield, whatever, something in board. I don't remember what it's called. Sword and board, maybe. But I don't use a lot of magic. I have some pyromancy and I do have some magic, but I'm very simple. I have very simple taste. I have very simple style. Now, if you are wondering, and you're brand new to this game, you can come up here and this fellow is here. I'm pretty certain he will not attack you unless you attack him or get too close to him, things like that. So he's alright, honestly. Then you can go around this way. Now there's two ways you can get to this. You can go over here. And if you're familiar with the game again, you'll know. But you can go here and you can drop down and there's a secret little item down there. Now this way, if for whatever reason you just didn't realize it, I only found it out this past playthrough, but you can go right through here. Would you look at that? It's surprising what you learn each and every time you play the game. It's one of those things where recently I learned that you could hold your shield up and sprint. Well, at least with a normal shield. Or you could have your shield up and backstep. Things like that that I never realized. Never. So I was rather, I was taken aback by it. I play very... There will be times where I'll play very well, and there will be times where I play rather sloppy. Oh yeah, we haven't showed my character yet. So, let's do that in Majula. It's better to do it in Majula. So let's say you're starting out your new adventure. You can go up here, you can light all these lights, and eventually when you get a certain item you can come back and you can light another light, which brings about an invader. I'm starting to sound like Obama now that I think about it. It may not sound like that onto your end, but when I hear my voice, it's different. Everybody knows that. You always sound different to yourself than you do to others. It's just how audio works. I guess in this game you can't backstab. If you're wondering why I'm doing sort of thing, it's sort of I'm setting it up for someone who is new, and then I'm setting up for someone who's already experienced. I mean, I'm on New Game 2 Plus or whatever, plus 2. Like, at that point, I've played way too much, and it would be kind of silly to act as if nobody else has played it. That's why I'm not doing a new playthrough. I mean, I thought about it, but one, I don't have any people really following, subscribing, watching regularly who are either interested or are actually there. So I'm just sticking with playing the game and doing some stuff. Maybe somebody will learn something. Maybe I'll do something stupid and silly and people will enjoy it. I don't know. That is for you to decide and me to find out. Where's that from? For me to find out. Yeah, okay. I get the item from over there? Yes. So you can push this ladder down when you get here, and then you can go down it. There will be an item on that poor fellow right there, and a torch to light. And then you can go this way through a fog wall, a fawagwa, and you'll find some more fellows to kill. And for the record, I will die. I'm not a perfect player sort of person. I frequently die. By the way, you can jump across that. I'm not going to do it because I probably would die. You sprint and then you, depending on if you're using controller, which just about everybody does, that means you'll hold B and then you'll press in on your left. Let's just call it a joystick. Let's just call it that. So you'll do that and you'll jump and it'll be amazing. Some people don't like jumping. I don't really like jumping either, but it's fun when you're on level and, you know, solid ground. By the way, there's an item down there. I don't have to worry about it. Already did it. Goodbye. On New Game Plus Plus, whatever it's called, there will be a fellow up here who has a crossbow and a shield, I believe. You can kill him. He'll drop something. I can't remember what. And that concludes that area. You'll eventually be able to come back there with the item I brought up earlier, which is the Fragrant Branch of Yore. I have one, but I'm not going to use it on that. So then you'll go through all this fun stuff. You'll notice I am currently offline, or else this place will be littered with messages. I will try to get online whenever I can, but my internet's one of those where sometimes it just won't connect. I can hardly explain it. Sometimes just a restart will help it, but I'm not going to do it. Whoa. And sometimes that will happen. It does do that sort of chugging thing every once in a while. It is what it is. If I'm going to record this, I'm going to do it, and that's that. Oh yes, and if... one of those where I've picked up all these items, so I'm already, like, forgetting about them. You can drop down... no, not there. Don't do that there. Here? Yeah, here. You can drop down here, and then you can go over there. You'll pick up a binoculars, and then you'll pick up a chime, but I think it's a priest's sacred chime or something like that, and then a morning star. I like the morning star. I actually still use it. And then you'll come here, Majula, with a bunch of fellows. You'll have this lady, whose name I can't recall. You'll have that guy, whose name I can't recall either. I believe this is Lenegras. Whatever his name is, Moughlin or Mauglin or Mehebabaglin. He sells armors. He sells weapons and reinforces stuff. This here is Shantui, I can't remember her name. Shaquir. Let's talk to her.
Oh, undead are we? And one without much time remaining. Just about ready to fall apart, I'd say. Not exactly the time to be chatting with a cat. Well, suit yourself. Oh yes, you may call me Shaqua. Enchanté. So, what did you want anyway? Ooh, you smell wonderful.
So, Shauquar, if you don't know, handles your covenants and sells some random items like these rings. This one's an important ring, by the way. We'll get to that later. And then various other
Nothing
things.
suited you, I presume?
Nope.
Well, that's dismaying.
Her voice isn't echoing outside. That is terrifying. So she's I actually really like her character, but beyond that. So this fellow, I haven't bought anything from him. I may not buy anything from him. On New Game Plus Plus, you'll end up finding a moon butterfly shield in this instead of titanite shards. Nothing to worry about, but until you get to that point, I guess it's nothing to worry about. I could hardly care. I don't use moon butterfly stuff. So this fellow here, if he was still down there, has a stone that you could hit. You could hit it with your shield, you could hit it with your sword. You could just punch it, like that, and it would knock the stone down, it would pull him up, and he has an Estus flask shard. I recommend picking it up, it is very handy if you're new. So, over here, yes. There's a chest over there to the left. I can't remember what it had. It's probably a bow. It's a short bow. That's what it is. This fellow would have an item. There may be something up here. I don't remember if there is or not. Nope. And anything? Nope. Okay. This guy, if you happen to play Dark Souls, then you'll find him to be very, very familiar. But what he does is he's part of the Blue Apostles or whatever. Actually, I'm going to join that.
Do you feel it suits me just? It will grow on you, this place.
Okay. Way of Blue. So, that essentially is the NPC.
May you find peace on your journey.
I need protection group. Let's see how many deaths I have. 501 deaths worldwide. That's between me and another person who also plays on this every once in a while. That was for the DLC. I don't know if it actually still does anything, by the way. It may not. So, yes, I have died 501 times between myself and another person, but I have the lion's share of those deaths. It is what it is. Alright, time to reveal the unmasking of my meager character. Ah, look at it. And you'll notice that my name... Oh, let's get over here. Get a little closer to my person. My person is rather plain looking. He is rather pale. I'm not actually pale. He just happens to be pale. He has a very pale nose and cheeks, but it's alright, whatever. He has very yellow eyes. It actually looks cool with some armors. And then he has a tattoo on his face. Very simple. Now, his name is Eliphas. That comes from the Warhammer universe. I just really like the name. For whatever reason, I typically use the name Eliphas and Aragast for any sort of game that's like medieval-ish. I don't know. I mean, I typically play a good guy. I'm not, invading everybody all the time, but that's just, I don't know. It's what I did. So I am level 267, completely ridiculous and unnecessary, but that's what I have. My vigor is 40, endurance 50, vitality 45, attunement 20, strength 50, dexterity 40, adaptability 28, intelligence 21, and faith 26. So yes, it's a very general build, I guess. It's not really even a build. I shouldn't have that much vitality, honestly. I shouldn't have... Well, endurance I think always helps, but I don't necessarily need that much. I am an excessive character. I don't know why. I just liked it that way. This was like my first Dark Souls 2 character, so I went and did a bunch of things. I experimented, I screwed around, I did silly things, stuff like that. I had previously watched another person play it, but I like this playstyle. So, and is there anything else here? No, nothing else. Inventory. I'm one of those where I hoard things, and I very rarely use them. So, and here's another thing I'll show you. I beat the last giant, I beat the pursuer, beat the dragon rider, and beat the old dragon slayer. I will run through those areas and just show what happened, things like that, talk about stuff. But I hoard a lot of stuff. This is maybe half of what I have. I have a bunch of weapons that I'm never going to use, but again, this is like my first playthrough, so I did a lot of collecting, I did a lot of exploring, dying, living. My item box has everything else that I don't use. It's excessive. Now you can see why I store stuff. The other weapons, I don't have one of every weapon, but I do get a bunch of weapons and use them as I want to. More... I'll probably experiment around and screw around with different weapons and all that whenever I happen to feel like it. A bunch of shields that I'm never going to use. And this is also where I collect things that I'm going to sell later on. I have a plethora of armors, again, that I'm never going to use. Sadly, I actually did sell the Ivory King's leggings somehow. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, so beyond that, then I have some other rings that I don't use frequently, or I've picked up duplicates. Whoa. Whoops. My duplicate spells, and some Titanite stuff. Speaking of which, I need that petrified dragon bone. I was wondering where that went. Alright, and then spells. Here are the spells I have. Again, I'm sort of a collector. I just pick them up even if I'm not going to use them. Yeah, I was going to say I can't use beyond, like, some of these spells I haven't even tried yet and I can use, but it's just, I'm not a very magical person. I will use pyromancy just because it gives me an edge. So let's try out the set I've been running with. It's more for kicks. Has been steel leggings, Hovel's gauntlets, steel armor, elite night helm. I see, it looks pretty good, right? Yeah, I think so. Rings. I go with the chloranthal ring. Well, actually, royal soldier. I know. Why would I need a royal soldier ring with vitality 45? Or I think it's vitality. I don't remember anymore. And then recently, I've actually been messing around with the Vanquisher seal. It's actually been a lot of fun. Suffice to say, I feel kind of bad because all those bosses I fought with just the Vanquisher's ring and a shield. Sadly, I mean, people are going to dispute that possibly. It's not that hard. Maybe I'll fight the next boss. I don't remember which one that would be, but maybe I'll fight the next one. What else do I want? Where did I have this one? I mean, I could take a dragon ring, but... Ring of Giants +2. Where's my strength one? I'll just take the strength one. So then we need my shield, my pyromancy, and then I take a bow. Some people would find this kind of silly to have a bow as well. I just happen to always keep it equipped because it comes in handy. But this is the loadout I've been running with for this entire first part of the game. It's been lots of fun. It hits really silly-like, all that good stuff. So we're going to start here from Majula. And actually, wait.
Bearer of the... Seek souls. Larger, more powerful souls. Seek the king, lest this land swallow you whole.
Okay, I could probably level up. No, I don't want to do that. I want to level up. I'm sorry. Oh yes, 268. Isn't that amazing? So we're going to put more into faith. I'm building up my faith now. I mean, I've avoided it. Yeah, let's go faith. I'm going to build up my faith. So, I've been avoiding it, but I should do it. It'll increase my pyromancy, it'll allow me to use some weapons that I can't use, allow me to use some hexes and other things. It's all good and fun. And now that I think about it, I wonder what the brightness is like. Let me see that. Huh, I maxed it out. If you don't know how my setup is, I have it set up on a TV which is farther away, so I kind of need the brightness on my side. So maybe that'll help you, I don't know. So, if you're on your first game, brand new game, you'll come over here, there'll be a chest, it'll have a rusty coin, Increases drop rate. I don't know by how much, like 300 or 100. It's a value, don't worry about it. After, when you're on New Game Plus, this chest will then be a mimic. If you're not familiar what a mimic is, it is a chest that is actually a monster. So if you try to open it, it will kill you. It'll chomp you up and spit you out. If you hit it, you'll hit it, it'll realize that it's been found out. It'll then fight back. It's not terribly difficult, but it can kill you. It hits relatively hard. And I don't remember if it shoots weapon degrading attacks or not. So this is the original area you'll go to. I actually, the very first time I played, I did not know that. I kept going. I went to the Hide Night area, wherever it's called. But I went over there. It was hilarious because I was lost. I was confused, and yeah, I got into fights. I started grinding a lot of souls, but it was not the way I was supposed to go. So you can go down there. There'll be a chest down there. I'm not going to. And then you can go down here. And there will be the Forest of the Fallen Giants. So you can go over here. There'll be a fellow sitting right there. You'll notice him getting up right now. And you can get an item in there. Because I already have the item, I'm going this way. Oh yes. I started a new game. You'll notice the second from the bottom account, well, character, was only like level 5 or something like that. I started another character, for whatever reason, I don't know. And I realized these guys only drop 30 souls. A meager 30 souls. It was, I don't know. I got so used to them dropping like 50 to 125, which is still nothing. Because I need like 300,000 souls to level up. Which is also excessive, but I mean, when you're level whatever, 268, 310,000 souls is a lot to begin with. I'm probably not helping my soul memory. Well, and for whatever reason, every time I've gone through things Forest of the Fallen Giant, it gets kind of choppy every once in a while. You may not see that in the video, but I see it on my side. So you'll notice that I'm going through this rather easily. This is just like my tried and true strategy. This is what I've done over and over and over and over again. This is actually how I would test new armors. I would enter the Covenant of the Champions, and I would just test different armors. And this is where I would test it, this entire area. There would be an item down there, and on that other note, I was going to say the Covenant of the Champions is located back in Majula. I didn't visit it. I'm sorry for those who take that very seriously. As you'll notice, I've already gotten the 50 Oz stones for it, so what can I say? I am not so worried about it. So this area may seem difficult if you go about it the wrong way. Running all willy-nilly. You start to learn some Dark Souls here. That's all I can say. Honestly, you could just walk up behind every one of these folks. Well, just about every one of these, minus like 2 or 3. And you can backstab them. Also down there, you can sprint and jump over there, and there'll be an item on that guy next to the rock at the edge. This guy comes down these stairs. No, I'm not omnipotent, nor what's the word for premonition? Not premonition. I can't see the future. I just happen to know where everything is. And then you can go over here, and there'll be an item on this guy. This guy over here becomes a nuisance later, so I get in the habit of killing him prior. Oh, look at that. Everybody drops stuff. This is weird. And then there's an item over here which I haven't picked up for whatever reason. A short sword. And then you can go back down here, you take some damage. Depends on how many Estus flasks you have. I have the 12 at level 5, I don't really care. And then I have 70 life gems. Alrighty. Alright, this guy. Now at this point I probably could just move on, but for whatever, I mean, again, the first time I played, I was confused, I got lost, I screwed up repeatedly, and I made mistakes. This is stuff I would have liked to have known the first time. Throwing knife. The drop rate is so high nowadays. I'm so used to it being lower, and then dropping everything like once every 3 times I kill all of them. Oh, another item. And that's something you'll notice in New Game Plus. It seems, well, for me it seems that people drop things more often. Could be wrong, but I think it is somewhat of a fact. Certain enemies will drop items more frequently. Oh yes, everybody's dropping everything. Everything must go. You do have invincibility frames while backstabbing. Well, more often than not you have invincibility frames. But I don't really have to worry about that. These guys never really hit hard. Well, with my level of armor and my health, it doesn't matter. It's all good and dandy. Alright, this area. So, this isn't so bad either. You can drop in through here, you can go over there. I drop in through here because I just like to. Nope, didn't. And yeah, okay, punched. See, I don't even know if he did any damage there or anything noticeable. I didn't see any yellow of my bar, I didn't see anything else. And fist to the back. Back breakers and all that. If you're wondering why I use Tovel's fist, they just look cool. Another Warhammer reference, it just kind of reminds me of a power fist. And since I'm punching so hard, why not? I've been kind of surprised, because I've been fighting these enemies in just New Game with the Covenant of the Champions, and I actually think they're harder than they are in New Game Plus. I think. This area, that guy's throwing firebombs, this guy's shooting arrows. It's all fun times everywhere. So, but yeah, it seems like they're actually weaker now than they were when I played in the previous New Game, well, previous Plus, with Covenant on. I don't know, it's just kind of strange. So everything's been a breeze, honestly. I actually did a lot of the previous playthrough with the Covenant. It wasn't to farm Allstones, honestly. I did that at another place. That was more to just... It was to push myself so that everything else seemed easier. And it has been. I probably should be using that Covenant right now. So you can rest at this bonfire, it's great. After you open that door, of course. And now this old lady.
I knew you'd be back.
So, when you first meet her, Merchant Hag, I would recommend buying the key from her. This is Lenegras' key. It's to open Lenegras' door, which is important for Lenegras to do Lenegras-y things. And she sells some other things. I honestly like the hand axe, but you can get one later somewhere, I don't remember where. And she sells life gems. Currently she only sells 10, she'll sell more later, infinite. And she's actually my main supplier. But let's just talk.
My name is Melentia.
Dementia.
You're a stranger to this land.
No.
Oh, we get as strangers these days. Everybody's gone and run off.
Yeah, they're scared.
Drangleic's been a pile of rubble since the war fought long, long ago. When the giants crossed the sea. Seemed like the battles would never end. Poor folk like myself have nary a place to sleep. That's why I keep all me things right with me.
In her little house.
You may travel light, but methinks you bear a burden of your own.
Is her hand dark? It is. Her hands are radiating some sort of black fog. That is terrifying.
They say these trees grew from the remains of the giants. From each carcass sprouted new life growing into what you see now. But you know what they also say? Don't believe what an old hag says.
I don't believe much of what you say at all.
It's high time that I pick up and move. I've a bargain for you next time we meet, my love.
Lonely times these are. Anyway. So she'll then go back to Majula. You'll find her there. She'll be in a nice safe place to buy stuff from. It'll be your aid. So in this room, I've already broken down the door. I don't remember why. But you'll find a crystal lizard, which, again, if you're not familiar, they drop rare loot. They drop some fun stuff that is fun. Then you can find something over that way, I believe, and then there may be something else over there. A chest, I say. It's very dark up here, it's alright, whatever. Moving on, then you'll find this fellow here. Get up. He'll get up once you, like, walk away from him. And for the record, sometimes I will screw up my attacks. Like there, I tried to do a jumping attack. A jumping attack, but I messed up. And you can drop down here, there'll be an item on this guy that's hanging there, and then you can drop back down. It's great. So this here is a shortcut. This would not be open during your first time. You can go down this here ladder, where you'll find these here foes, and these. I recommend if you're new to the game, or if you're just for whatever reason cautious, don't be as blunt as I am. The only reason I can be is I have, again, overwhelming stats, overwhelming gear. It's not good for other folks. You can pick up an item here, he stands up, then you can go ahead and kill him. I would recommend backstabbing him. It's pretty easy. Then, after you've done all that, you can go this way. This is the way to go. I currently have the key to open there, but I don't like there, so I'm not going there yet. Then you can walk in front of this fellow. You'll stand up, you can walk behind him, and then you can kill him. Easy peasy. Now this, what I typically do is I sprint to the top. Reason why is if anybody follows, they are going to be coming up here separate from everybody else. One of those things I'd recommend for anybody and everybody is if you're playing, take it slow until you're familiar with the game and good enough to do it. See, like this guy, he came up, he just took a while. And I actually have a funny story to tell about up here in a little bit. But first, let's go down. Yeah, let's go down this way. So, this area, it may be challenging when you first try out. You'll probably have to heal multiple times. I would recommend getting as close to that corner as you can, so this guy wants to fight you in melee. His mistake, he only has a dagger. And you can go up this ladder. This part may or may not be difficult. If you have a bow, try hitting this guy and luring him away. If you don't have to worry about that, then just get up there and fight. Oh, okay, I was gonna say there's a guy that stands up here. He was wandering around. You can knock people, well, enemies off of stuff, and people too, and they'll die. I actually haven't been over here yet, that's why there's still items looming about. So this place, step up, don't go. Yep, or else that'll happen. What can I say? It's a terrible thing. I'm gonna go over here real quickly and kill this guy. Make sure he stays out of my hair. And dodging is not that bad. They do lead. Well, they do a path prediction thing, so, and it's based off of where you're going. So let's say I'm going to the right. He'll aim to the right and preparation for me to run to the right. You can sprint, which will throw off his aim, or you can go the other way, or you could roll. Whatever suits your fancy. Tickles your fancy, whatever. So, then, after that boulder rolls by, you can go to the left, and there should be somebody here. Unless, no, I think he may have died in the roll. Maybe? Whatever. Human effigy. Alright. Human effigies, if you don't know, restore your humanity. If you happen to be familiar with humanities from either Dark Souls or otherwise. See, like that, I went to the right. Well, I went to the left originally, and then he shot left, even though I couldn't even go that far. Ah, another item. A life gem. Excellent. So this here is Kale the Cartographer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just daydreaming, I think. My name is Kale. I'm a traveler, like yourself. I'm navigating the continent to create a map. Why cartography, you ask? Well, that's a good question. When I first came into this forsaken land, it was...
Oops. I'm sorry, Kale. I'm sorry.
Why cartography, you ask? Well, that's a good question. When I first came into this forsaken land, it was... a curse? Something about a curse? How embarrassing. I seem to have lost my focus. But I do know one thing for certain. I have always been very fond of maps.
And as you notice, you can you can purposely hit NPCs. It hurts them. They will eventually turn aggressive. They will attack you. That was an accident, I swear. That's why I healed them with my warmth, which may sound very weird, but I healed them.
I came to this land some time ago. Drangleic, the Lost Kingdom. It sounded so romantic. Have you seen Majula? Oh, there's a rather spacious mansion there. I've made it my temporary home. Well, as something of a squatter, I'm afraid. Inside the mansion, I found a strange map, like none I'd ever seen. I believe that it's a map of Drangleic. Now I'm traveling the land to prove it. Yes, that's it. That's why I came to the kingdom. Wait. No, that wasn't it. Then what? I don't seem to recall.
See this fellow here, he is a hollow. He doesn't look very undead-like, but he is a hollow.
Were you looking for that map? Wonderful. Then you're fascinated by maps, just like me. Shame on you. You should have told me before. Here, take this. A key to the mansion.
And the house.
What a joy to meet a kindred spirit out here.
And that's about all he does. Well, wait, let me see if I talk.
Incredible, really, isn't it? Such a map to be chiseled in stone. Oh, but one thing. I would not venture deep into the mansion. Now, I can't be certain, but I've heard disturbing noises. Something about it feels wrong. Just be careful, please.
Okay, so that concludes that. There's a lot of story about him. I won't get into story, really. I mean, I'll talk about some things every once in a while, my thoughts, opinions, all that good stuff. There's something about him possibly being connected to Pate and Creighton, who were maybe once upon a time fellows. I don't know the details, honestly, but they are against each other in this game. Kind of like good old what's his name from the first Dark Souls. I don't remember what their names are. I'm sorry. I am an embarrassment to everybody who is watching this. But he may or may not have a connection. I don't know. And that's just speculation, honestly. So, this here is a big iron fellow. He hits hard, but he is slow. Actually, I'm just going to fight kind of like how I would if it was a new game. He hits incredibly hard, annoyingly hard. And you'll notice that I let him hit that barrel. These barrels explode. He's going to strike. Too bad. So I frequently just roll out of the way, hit him. And fourth swing. The amount of times that fourth swing has got me is saddening. But the best thing to do, honestly, is just kind of peck at him slowly until he dies. Even that, if that means taking 10 minutes to kill him, for whatever reason, if it takes that long, then I would recommend it. So up here, when you first get here, a gigantic bird will drop down a gigantic armor-clad person who looks very menacing. Honestly, I don't think he's that bad. We'll be fighting one of his phantoms later on, and it's kind of silly, but the Pursuer is one of those bosses where I have come to enjoy fighting him. He is a very easy boss for me to fight. I will sometimes still die to him, but he's not that hard to fight anymore. He has a very relatively simple moveset, and he hits hard, he does. And I could have gotten that item, but I don't care. This guy will run over here, he has a spear. Maybe I'll actually demonstrate something. So, you'll notice this guy has a shield. A bunch of enemies in this game have shields. You can do well, if I do it right. This is an example of me trying to do stuff. There we go. And you can break their shield, their guard. I don't know how to do the whole... In the past, I have broken somebody's guard, and then I've proceeded to do a parry counterattack thing. I don't really ever parry, like never. I don't have a sense for it. It's terrible, I know, but considering how big a thing in the game it is, it's not my cup of tea. So go in there, run away, they'll shoot one of their allies, it's pretty great. And depending on how many come out, I will be running up or staying here. In your new game, it isn't so bad, but when you get to New Game Plus, they add some red phantoms to the mix. 3, not so terrible. 5, I'd rather not. And if you happen to have a bow, I would recommend pecking at them. Again, pecking. Chipping at them would be a better way to explain it. Because it gets rid of some of their health, or kills them outright, depending. I have a really good bow, which is why this is doing this much damage. I missed. I will miss frequently. For whatever reason, I'm okay with a bow. Well, I mean, I know the reason, I'm just not really good at playing, so. And... okay. Nope, I missed. No, okay. They can hit you when you're behind them with certain attacks. They don't hit you with all of them, but they can. Alright. And you can hit multiple people. I know, it's great. So, there's all of them, I think. You can then go in here, you'll find some loot somewhere. You can go down here. Oh, yeah, and these guys are... Because I've had them open the door, they're always active now. They're forever a nuisance. You'll find a chest here. You can open it. It'll have poison in it, if I recall, and you probably could destroy it. And I don't remember if destroying it means you negate the effect of being close to the poison or not. And then you'll... How you get in here is, let's see. You'll walk up to this door, it'll be closed, you can't open it, so you'll hit the door, and then they'll open it up from the inside. This here is a Pharaoh's contraption or whatever. You put a stone into its mouth, I know it sounds weird, and then it'll reveal something or do something. Some are good, some are not so good. And then it'll reveal these two chests which have something else as well that I can't remember. I don't remember most of the loot that's in these things. I think a soul arrow of some sort is down here. Some titanite, and then something else. Maybe it was a spell, I don't know, another spell. So then you can go over here, and over this area, if he was still here, you'll find a man named Pate. Mild-mannered Pate. This door will be open, you'll be able to go through it, you'll be ambushed by a bunch of folks, you'll kill them all, you'll come back around, you'll jump down there, and then Pate will be like, oh, luckily you got out, and then you can get a ring from him, which is the Ring of Thorns. I already have it, so I don't have to worry about that. Now you'll notice something, I'll shoot this barrel, and these folks will explode. This is because my bow has fire enchantment, so it sets things on fire. I know, it's pretty satisfying, right? Figure it's cheaper than buying a bunch of fire arrows. Not to say that fire arrows are not good, but it's nice when you don't have to pay for them. I'll actually explain some more of my gear that I frequently use in a little bit, probably in the next episode, because we're getting about to the 46 area, 47 plus or minus. So I'll probably stop this video at 1 hour. And see, they hit real hard. I mean, this is a Red Phantom edition, so he hits harder. But this one hits exceptionally hard. Which is kind of weird, because I was talking about how he's a Red Phantom and he hits harder, but he hits harder. So see, this is what I found to be the best method for killing him, not getting hit so much, things like that. If you happen to hit hard enough, I mean, it doesn't matter. A winged spear that I'm never going to use. You'll notice that he was a Red Phantom. Red Phantoms that you'll find in this game, well, in my game, will frequently not be normal enemies. They can be, but they're not frequently. Again. And then you can kill these folks. Alas, nothing happened. I wanted to pick that up. That's what I wanted to do. Pick up. Life gem. I always appreciate life gems now. Large soul of the undead. Souls of the various people, undeads, heroes, infantry of the dying, whatever, I don't care, are all, you can use them or hold on to them to grant you a certain amount of souls. I may as well explain it because I didn't, because I was being silly. Souls are what you use to upgrade stuff, purchase stuff, and level yourself up so that you're more powerful. Story-wise, I mean, it has to do with being turned hollow, and apparently you have a craving for souls or something like that. I don't know exactly why it happens, besides it being part of the dark sign. I don't know beyond that. A life gem. You'll notice that I couldn't make it up there. It's probably because I have too much on me. Let's say if I shed this, you'll notice in the bottom right hand corner above my souls, I have 35.6 of 117.6. I assume pounds, it could be some other unit. Maybe it's kilogram. Not kilograms. Yeah? No. Yeah? No. I don't remember anymore. But see, like 14, it's got to be kg. I think, yeah, I'll say it is. So 14 units of weight is the steel armor. It does, and that brings my weight up to 49.6 of the 117, meaning that I have 42.2% encumbrance. If you're over encumbered, in a sense, you'll be slower, your stamina will regen slower, things like that. That is a plunging attack. All that good stuff that, you know, keeps you from doing your job. Some people don't mind being slower. It's alright. I mean, I prefer being able to move faster and having higher stamina regen. It's just how I like to roll. Yeah. Again, a bow is very handy. If you can, I'd recommend getting a bow. And you don't even have to get good arrows, just get like wood arrows from Lenegras. The main idea for the bow is to the main idea is to draw enemies away, or, you know, kind of soften them up if you have to. Nothing real serious. And punch, and punch. Okay, cool. But yeah, the bows, if you're going to be doing a melee or, you know, sword and board, sword and shield sort of run, I still recommend getting a bow. I personally don't think that a bow is a viable weapon for just a normal playthrough for you. Well, at least for me. I mean, some people could, but it's one of those things where you'll find some areas where it's hard to fight with a bow. Again, I'm sure you could do it. I'm sure people have done it. Let's see if I can... oh, no. And if you don't know, the hitboxes in Dark Souls are infamous. Alright. But yeah, I mean, currently the bow is supposed to be more of a weapon that can assist you. It can do good. As you see, my bow it's pretty powerful. It's a Dragon Rider fire bow, I believe. Fire Dragon Rider bow, +5. It does a chunk of damage. It takes a lot more stamina than the normal bow. Originally, it used to take up like 3/4 of my stamina, but as I got more stamina, I became able to shoot it a little bit more frequently, so now it only takes up half my stamina. Which may not seem like much, but when you consider how much stamina I have, yeah. That's the thing about being at 50 endurance. I have 150 stamina, and I believe you start at 100, which, you know, 50 doesn't seem like a lot, but once you get into it, that's the difference between hitting somebody 5 more times, or rolling away 2 more times. I don't know the exacts, but I was actually kind of surprised when I made a new account how small the health and the stamina bar starts out as. Because, for example, you see my health bar in the upper left area. It takes up about, well, not half, but let's say a third of the top. Wait, I can't go in there yet. Originally, it only takes up about a sixth or so. It's about 3/4 smaller than what it is right now. Okay, it's a quarter of the size of that current health bar. Let's go with that instead. That sounds a little bit more sensical. If you don't know, it's actually rather late for me right now. I'm a little tired, so I am sort of rambling, which is nothing different. So, after you've made it through all of that, I'm sure you watched, you can go over here, you can open this door, it provides you a shortcut to get back over here, to go up this ladder, which takes you upstairs to the bonfire. It's great, it's lovely, I know, and I forgot the other shortcut. So then you can take this elevator. I recommend going down. You may or may not see the fellow on the other side. Yeah, right there. So he's one of those heavy iron knights or whatever, ironclad knights. And he is not hard to fight, but he is there. There'll be the soldier here. You can kill him. Yay. I think, open that door, but I'm not going to. Then you'll find a fog gate here. It would be here. And you can summon Sellsword Luet or Mild Manner Pate over here. I didn't summon either. I just went in here. I punched his legs until he died. The boss that I'm speaking of is the Last Giant. A rather nice fellow. He hits real hard, but he's not that difficult to fight. He's slow. You just have to watch out when he stamps. I recommend going in between his legs when he starts stamping, then roll away, things like that. Stuff that people have done over and over and over again. Remember, a friend of mine had challenged himself to use a ladle. Alright, excellent. But challenged himself to use a ladle and fight him, and he did die once, but he pulled it off. So after you kill him, you'll get his soul, and then you'll get a soldier's key or something like that, which allows you to open some doors. One would be over there, through that doorway. The other one will be over here. You can open this up. There'll be a chest over there with a... I think it's a nice ring. I don't remember anymore. And then you'll come in here. It'll seem rather plain. There'll be a gentleman standing here. He'll look like... I don't know if I have the armor. I do. He'll look like this. Yep. Minus the shield and with like a weapon, actually. And he'll be standing here. He'll look all nice and, you know, passive. And he will be. You don't even have to fight him if you don't want to. But if you want to get any of his souls, you'll kill him. He's not that hard. Just circle strafe and backstab. That's all you have to do. It's a very easy person to kill. Then if I recall, there's an item on this guy, and then there's an item over here. I don't know. I can't remember which one's which, but you find a lance over here. On New Game Plus, though, you'll find two folks here. They're not particularly difficult. You may use much of your Estus flasks. Again, I play sloppily, and I get myself killed. I didn't die to them, but I used about 6 of my Estus flasks killing them. In fact, if I was, you know, really good at this game, I wouldn't have used any for that entire segment. But I'm not, so it is what it is. So then you can go back up this ladder, and then you'll have completed just about most of this area. There'll be something else out there, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But for now, we're going to return to Bajula and call it an end to this episode. I know it was nothing really intense. I did a lot of talking while doing a lot of nothing else. Well, actually, let's stop by the manor real quick. But yeah, most of these episodes will be very plain, because I've already, well, okay, I take that back. These few episodes, whatever, are going to be plain because I've already gone through some of this area. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. So instead, I'm going to do what I can with what I have. Ah, Ferrous Lockstone. I don't use them too frequently, except for a couple cases. They're nice, but eh. So then you go over here, and then you can go down here. And you'll find yourself a map. A map, I do say, and this is not a chest, for the record. It always looks like a chest, and I'm always gravitated towards it. It is not. So this here is the U.S. You'll notice Florida on the right has merged with Texas. California has been dropped off the edge, and Mexico is also part of the U.S. now. Jokes aside, and Alaska's over here too. This is Drangleic. This is what it looks like. It's pretty great, I know. This is where we are, on that little fire, if I recall. And I don't remember where we just were. Well, I mean, I don't know if right in front of me, like if you lined it up with my helmet, is where the... No, it would be over here, wouldn't it? This area would be the Forest of the Fallen Giant. I'll try to visit this every once in a while. I won't be doing it too frequently, but, you know. Now down here, there are these spooky, scary skeletons who are coming out of the deep. Now, each time you start a new game, there ends up being more of them. I don't find them to be terribly hard, but you get to a point where there's a chunk of them, and they do hit decently hard. They can kill you. They haven't killed me yet. This is the closest they've made it. Yeah, they all drop human effigies, I guess. This is the closest they've ever made it, considering it's now 3 instead of 2 or 1. But then you can go down here. You can light a torch over here, if I recall. Yeah. And then there'll be a chest in here, which has, I don't remember what. This was used for special items that came out like the days prior to the DLCs and all that. It instead drops a soul vessel, which is used to reallocate your stats if you need to. Oh, and an Estus flask shard. Also important, again, gives you more Estus flasks. Very important if you're starting out. So that's about all for here. And we may as well go visit the Covenant of the Champions real quick. That would be a good idea. We'll revisit this sooner or later. Probably sooner. It's not that difficult to do. It's pretty fun. But instead, let's go over here. We'll probably go to there next, the Hyde Tower or Hyde's Tower. So up here is the Covenant of the Champion. This is where you can enter it. You offer Awe Stones. Eventually, when you offer 50 Awe Stones, you can get the Vanquisher's Seal. It's the ring I'm currently using, which allows me to punch real hard. I just recently got it. I've been using it. It's been pretty fun. Actually did a lot of grinding. For those who are familiar, the Dragon Shrine, I went there with the Covenant. So I got a bunch of Awe Stones. Eventually I got 30 Dragon Scales. That was a pain and a half. Well, I guess it doesn't seem so bad, but I spent about 10 hours on it. So that'll conclude this episode. There's not much else to show. Next time we'll be going to Hyde's Tower. It'll be fun. It'll be great. And until then, goodbye, folks. I know, it's so cliche. Everybody does it. But have a good one. This is Doom Jester signing off.